Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to episode 6 of the Road to Pro School. Lee Whittaker here at the Ashby Golf Resort in the studio today, and today I am doing a gapping test of my new clubs. So I need to know how far they go, and I need to know how far they go on good shots only for me, because the drop-offs will be because of missed strikes. So I'm going to test today to see how far each club goes and if I need to make any adjustments to loft, just to sort of bring the numbers to where I want to see them. So let's get quad on and let's get to it. Right, okay, lob wedge to start with, 58 degree for me. Previously, I'd have wanted this to be around about 100 yards, so that's what I'm expecting this to go, between 95 and 100 yards on a full shot. A little bit thin, that one. I only want good strikes out of it. I want to know how far my good strikes go. Okay, so that was a good strike. So 94 yards on that, exactly where I want it to be. I have a couple more to confirm it, but it's there where I want it to be. And that one was 100, so between 95 and 100 is where I want the lob wedge to be, so it's perfectly in that range. Yeah, happy with that. Okay, so if we move on to the 52, about 125 as an average would be where I want this to be. Okay, it's a little bit short on that one. So that carried 114, so a little bit down on where I'd hope it would be. Another good hit. So not quite as far as I was expecting it to be. That one at 117. So looks like we're looking at about 115 to 120 with this. So a little bit lower ball flight, carrying 123. So yeah, looking like it's about 115 to 120, and then if I just loft it down, we can get it just above it. Right, so that's 120, and that was a good hit. So yeah, where I want it to be, 115 to 120. So that's 100 with 95 to 100 with the 58, 115 to 120 with that. So we're talking 20-yard gap. There is a gap in the wedges. I've only carried 2, so it's sitting where I want it to sit, really. Okay, let's move on to the pitching wedge then. So the pitching wedge now moves into the Z Forge clubs. Pitching wedge 145 is what I want it to do. So not quite got all of that one, and that went 138. 138. So let's try and get a good strike out of it. A little bit low on the face on that, so a little bit of a drop off. Better strike. A little bit low again, so what we're looking at now, 137, 138, 137. Not feel like I've hit a good one yet. Okay, that was a good shot. So that's more of a reflection of where it will go, distance wise. Yeah. So that's 148. Let's hit one more. But it's definitely, I think it's definitely got the potential to be 145, but it's probably going to be nearer 140 now with this new club. So that's at 138 again. Yeah, so 138, so a slight drop in where I was with my old set, but I'm not getting as much help as the old set, so I'm quite happy with that. 138 is fine. Right, let's move on to 99 then. Probably, if that's 138, about a 12-yard gap, about 150 I'd like this to go. Old 99 went about 155. $153, okay, so it's there or thereabouts. So at 150, so 150 to 153, let's hit one more. Both of those were good shots. A little bit low on the face on that, so a little bit of a drop off. Didn't quite get that one very well. All right, let's hit one more. So I get one more good one in it. Okay, so I'm seeing where the drop off is, because them last two were a little bit on the thin side and have gone 146. So there's about a 5-yard drop off, which is fine. I can live with that, with a missed strike. But I think 150 is going to be the number. Yeah, so that's that one. 154. So yeah, around about 150 for the 9-iron. Okay, moving on to 8. Between 160 and 165. That's where I'd want this to be. My start line is not good today. That has been pulled massively. Better shot. Okay, this is going a lot further than I thought it would go. Okay, so that was another good one, 160 odd. 163, where I kind of want this to be. I think I slightly may have pulled the first two, but it's something I need to look at. So 8-iron is something to look at when it comes to the loft. Okay, moving on to 7-iron then. And I'll take a proper look at the end and see where these are going before I do anything with lofts and stuff. Old 7-iron, the old 7-iron was one in 180s. I want it to go 175 really. $172, ideal, absolutely ideal. 172, 6,000 spin as well. Really happy with that. A little bit heavy, so there's going to be a drop off there. What this is doing is showing me the importance of a strike with these clubs. Something I'm going to have to learn to use, and they are a little bit longer, so I'm going to have to get used to them first. Okay, that was a good hit. Like that one. Up there at 173, perfect. Absolutely perfect. The two good strikes have gone 173. That was a toe shot, so it's going to have a drop off. Okay, let's move on to the 6. Okay, moving on to the 6-iron then. I want this to be 185 really. Ideally for a 6. That was a good hit. Wow, okay, 192. Oh, that's what I've got as a shot. Right, so that's better. 187, that was a better strike. More what I'd expect. That one was out the middle and just a pretty good shot. That was just fat. Fat, fat, fat. The extra length on these is going to take me a little bit of a while to get used to. Played quarter of an inch for so long, I'm just catching them heavy sometimes. Right, let's try and have one more good 6 iron out of these. Whew, this is definitely highlighting the downfall of these clubs and something I've got to practice more now, which I like. I like the fact I've now got to practice more. That's a good shot. Okay, got a good baseline for the 6s now. Okay, on to 5 iron and we move out of the blades now. And I like what this is showing. This is showing me the drop-offs and it's showing me the importance that I now need to put into ball striking. Exactly why I got the blades. I'm gonna have to practice more, I'm gonna have to work on my strike more, I'm gonna have to work on being a better ball striker. Exactly what I wanted them for. Right, 5 iron, 195. .193, perfect. Perfect, perfect, perfect. One more. Okay, that was a good strike and I went 203. Good spin as well for a 5 iron. And I've lofted this to try and fit in with the 6. Okay, last club we're going to do is the 4 iron. I don't need to do the hybrid because I've been playing that long enough. I know what that does and I know what my 2 iron does. Right, 4 iron, I want 210. Just a little bit on the heavy side. It's a better strike. What was that? 205. A little bit thin again. And that's another reason I got the utility, is missed strikes like that aren't punished as badly. I know what you're saying, you don't want to be punished with missed strikes, but when it comes to the long irons, we all need a bit of help. Okay, that's a great strike. Oh, pulled that has never done that. That's 205 again. And there's 210, so it is in there. Right, let's take a look at the numbers. Right, okay, so let's look at the numbers then. So lob wedge 52, pitching wedge 9, 8 and 7 are on this sheet here. The ball speed increases nicely, 82, 91, 102, 108, 116, 120, which is what I'm looking for. The first thing I want to see an increase in ball speed as the lofts go up, which is fine. Then I want to see a decrease in launch angle, so 29, 29, 27, 24, 18, slightly a little bit higher than normal when it comes to me with a 7 iron, but I'll take that. The spin could do with looking at, I'll be perfectly honest with you, I need to look at increasing spin, but that's just me, the way I am. Then if we look at carry distance, we go 103, 120, 17-yard gap. There's a big gap between those, which is fine. I can take stuff off of a wedge anyway. Then we go 141 pitching wedge, 152 9 iron, 163 and 172. So that's a little bit down on where I'd want it to be at 172. I'd like it to be up at 173, but that 175, but that's fine. So the gap there is 11, then 9. So the gapping when it comes to up to 7 iron is acceptable. Then we move into we've done 7, 6 and 5. So we see the increase again of ball speed, 126, 130, 135, which is what I want to see. If people normally stop around 5 irons because they can't increase the ball speed when they get to sort of 5 and 4s. Launch angle is all fine. Spin is not too bad. 4,000 with a 4, 4.5 with a 5 is okay. 5 with a 6 is okay. And then we go to carry distance, 12-yard gap, 172, 184, then an 11-yard gap, then an 11-yard gap. So actually, the gapping seems to be fine for the good shots. And then obviously, if I have miss hits or I slightly pull it, then it's going to carry a little bit further. But when I look at the good shots, the gapping is all fine. And all in all, it's got the shot shape I like, which is a slight right to left shot shape. So when it comes to this gapping of these irons, I'm actually happy where they are. Even though I said I might need to look at the 8, I'm still going to go away and get them into a loft machine just to make sure the lofts are correct. But from a gapping point of view, it seems to be where I want them to be, there or thereabouts. So all in all, I'm pretty happy where that is. So it means I can then go forward. But one thing it did highlight to me big time was actually the onus on getting a good strike now with these irons is paramount. Whereas before I could get away with it a little bit with my old irons, now I can't. So I'm going to have to put in hours of practice with these irons to get used to them, to get used to the extra length and get used to not having that forgiveness when I do a miss strike, because the drop-offs are pretty big. But that's what I'd expect them to do. They're doing exactly what I'd expect them to do. And now I'm going to have to concentrate more over the ball. I'm going to have to think about my shots more, which is what I wanted my irons to help me do, because I have to now know that if I hit a rubbish shot, the club's not going to help me in any way, shape or form until I get to probably 4 iron now, where I've got a little bit of help. But in essence, I asked for it. I've got it. I've got to put up with it now. I'm keeping my old irons just for the time being, just in case it just does massively go to pot and I need to go back, because at the end of the day, sponsorship or not, the end game for me is to play better, is to get my handicap down, and is to get onto being a PGA Pro this time next year. I want to enroll by this time next year. So that's the end game, and that's what I've got to aspire to get to. There's a lot of work to do, and that's what this Road to Pro School is going to show. It's going to show my hard work that I'm going to try and put in, and hopefully this time next year we can see some light at the end of the tunnel. But I need to get better with these irons, because they showcased up the missed shots so much. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed that video, and if you have, please do give it a like rating at the bottom. And also, if you are new or are returning to the channel and aren't yet subscribed, please do hit that subscribe button down there. It is free to do, and it does help this channel grow, which just helps me out massively, and I can't thank you guys enough. But until the next Road to Pro School, which hopefully we can get out on the course. I wanted to do it today, but it's done nothing but rain. We can put these irons out on the course, put them to the test, and see actually what they do in a real life environment, not just in the studio. But for the time being, I'll see you soon.